Hello everybody, Larry Young here again with another segment of OLaMan Living Life with Purity. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the food pyramid and accusations that are flying around from protesters up in Minnesota about the physical fitness of local police officers and federal ICE agents. And I just thought that was pretty rich when I saw the video of the people making these complaints. But let's talk about the food pyramid. So Bobby Kennedy at the Health and Human Services has revised the advised dietary plans for Americans across the board. For many, many years, we've been told by the folks at Kellogg's and General Mills that you need to start your day with a big bowl of grains and cereals, to get things going, get crunching. Captain Crunch, Trix, Wheaties, all these things, they all had a different brand about them. Wheaties was for the athletes, Trix was for the kids, this kind of stuff. What we need to do, though, is we need to realize that it was all made just to make money for the owners of these companies and to put pounds on your behind. And they were very, very successful at it. So what the new food pyramid does is whereas grains had been at the top of the food pyramid before, and they wanted you to concentrate on these areas, it's now down at the bottom of the food pyramid. It's the least important thing that you should take into your diet each day. The new important things and most important things are proteins. So you want to take in animal proteins, fish, even like if you want to get it from beans, things like that, but then it falls into the grain category a little bit. So you got to be a little bit careful about that. Then you got your dairy stuff, then you got your fruits and vegetables, and then clear down at the bottom now, we actually have grains where they're supposed to be. They should be the more limited part of your daily intake. That includes your breads, if you're having snacks or chips and stuff like that, you need to have those limited too, because those are just, painful products. They might give you a short joy, crunching with a sandwich, and I understand that, but don't eat the whole damn bag. Come on, you got it. That's what the clip is for. If you take in more than a handful of chips, that's too many. One handful, that's it. Now, the people that are in charge of trying to instruct our population, primarily our children, about the food choices they should be taking in are our public school teachers and our private school teachers or your homeschool teachers. It's up to the teachers to get this across to the kids. The doctors don't promote it enough because they don't take enough time with the patients when they're visiting with them. You're lucky if you get enough time with a nurse practitioner these days. Most of the time spent in a medical office now, you're going to get a trainee with a clipboard who's going to take some basic vital measurements, and then whoever's going to come in to sign off on is going to double check those measurements as far as your pulse and blood pressure, things like that, and then they're going to move you along down through the line as long as you paid your $20 deductible before leaving the office. So with this new food pyramid in place, and with the teachers responsible for educating the kids about it, let's talk about who it is that's actually doing the educating and what is their physical situation. How did they get there? Well, these school teachers, who are the same people that were standing with these politicians the other day bitching about the physical fitness of the police officers and the ICE agents, calling them fat and out of shape, these same school teachers, by the analysis done by the National Institute of Health back during the Biden administration, have declared that 70%, that's 70% of America's school teachers are at or near levels of obesity. 70% of America's school teachers are at or near the level of obesity. 40% of these same teacher groups are considered to be morbidly obese. That's the bad one. So 40% of America's school teachers are considered by the National Institute of Health to be morbidly obese. And they're the ones that are supposed to be teaching our children about healthy eating. We got a problem with the messenger and the message, apparently. So this is not going to go over well. But this is also explains why we've got about 50% of our school kids are tracking the same way on obesity levels. This is ridiculous. My gosh, back when I was a kid, we may have had 1 or 2 kids in the entire class were porky. But now you got half of them. And this is not a good trend. We can't blame all this on Cheetos. A lot of it on Cheetos. So a 70% obesity rate, these particular teachers are at 170 pounds, between 160 and 170 pounds. If you weigh that much and you're teaching in the public school system, you would be one of these people that charts at being on the obesity range. They should be more down around 135 pounds. The 40% that are tracking at morbidly obese, they're the ones that are over. They're the ones that are over 100. Those are the ones that are over 200 pounds. And so when you got 40% of your active public school teachers over 200 pounds, you're going to have this heightened morbidly obese rate. And you're going to have children supposedly taking dietary instruction from these people. This doesn't make sense, and it confuses the kids when the big Mrs. Pumpkin up there is trying to tell these kids what and how to eat, and she can't do it herself. This is not good. This is a bad trend. We got to stop this. We got to fix the teacher before she strokes out, has a heart attack in front of these kids, and may, these kids will suffer, permanent effects from something like that. Wouldn't you think? I would. If my teacher dropped dead in front of me, what do I do? Do I celebrate or do I, cry? It's like, did I like her? Did I not like her? It's an equal whip. Goes both ways. But when kids spend over 50% of their waking time with this particular person in this classroom as their primary influence about life and how it should be lived in this instruction mode, something's going to sink into these kids and a pattern is going to develop, and they are going to be taught certain things just by being around it. We need a diet. We need to work out. We need to get these people out there. They need to be held accountable. We need to put a scale in the teacher's lounge. We need to help these people. It's the best thing for them because they can't help themselves. They can't fix themselves. They're supposed to be the smart ones, but they're the ones that are killing themselves one fistful at a time. So Our Lady is concerned about the conditions of our public schools. She wants people to think hard about the homeschooling opportunity and to fix what's going on. The public schools are really a problem. The private schools are a problem. They've got the same health habits going on there, and no one says anything because they're just glad to have a teacher come in each day to be there to take on these unruly kids that the parents are delivering to the schools each day. So systemic problems all the way around. One thing feeds the other. Which is the first one you fix? I say you fix them all. Don't stop at one. Do them all at the same time. This is not a time to quibble. This is a time to act. We've got kids who are taking insulin. Kids are being insulin dependent before they become teenagers. This is terrible. This is frightening. You should be concerned. They want to talk about a healthcare crisis. This is it. This is what starts the chain of decline. We have to fix this. And it's not a problem with our ICE agents. It's not a problem with our local police. It's a problem with our learning and who is doing the teaching and why they're teaching certain things and not others. We can fix this. In the meantime, I love you, and I'll be back.